Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new Division video. What I guess today is my patch 1.6 hybrid build I mainly use for PvP. So for the past couple of days, I've been getting a lot of comments asking me if I am making a hybrid build, if I'm going to make a video on it, or if I just don't use hybrid builds or anything like that. And my answer to that is yes, I do use hybrid builds. I see a lot of people posting videos on YouTube about their hybrid builds, and honestly, I know a few people personally that mainly run hybrid builds in Last Stand in the Dark Zone, and they have a great time using it. So for the past couple of days, I've been working on my hybrid build. Although this build by far is not done, I thought the time was right to pretty much show you guys what I've been working on and pretty much the build I came up with. First of all, if you guys don't know what a hybrid build is, I'm guessing majority of you guys do know, but if you don't know, it's pretty much when you have your firearms, your stamina, and electronics pretty close together, so you get good heals, or just pretty much get good abilities in general. Also, you have a decent amount of health, so you're not squishy, you can tank some bullets here and there. And your firearms are pretty high, so you do some damage whenever you're shooting at people. So that's pretty much what a hybrid build is. But like I said, without further ado, this is the build I've been working on. So as you guys can see, this is a all high-end / exotic build. To be honest, I tried out a few different gear sets. I tried out Predator's Mark, I tried out 3 Banshee, I tried out different pieces of gear. And the best damage and just the best success I had was with a all high-end / exotic build. Now, for the weapon, I am using the Bullfrog. If you guys have been subscribed to the channel for a pretty long time, you guys know I absolutely love using the Bullfrog, and it's pretty much my favorite weapon in the game. I see a lot of people, saying how can you use it when it has that much recoil. Honestly, I just kind of got used to it. I don't really take gunfights like at a far distance. I kind of like run up to the person or just run away or just wait for them to come to me. So that's why I don't really see a negative side of using the Bullfrog. For my secondary, I am using MP7. This MP7 actually is a god roll. What it has is responsive, brutal, and deadly. The only thing I wish it was changed, I wish I didn't have brutal. Maybe something like unforgiving would be even better. And getting back to the Bullfrog, I am using deadly, unforgiving, and uncomplicated. It's pretty much the same Bullfrog I've been using on most of my builds. Now, as far as my weapon mods go, I am spec'd into half and half. What I mean by that is, I'm pretty sure my scope is headshot damage and my muzzle brake is critical hit damage, or it's vice versa, so it's something like that. Anyways, going back to the gear, so as you guys can see, the only exotic I do have on are the Skull MC gloves, and whenever you're using a high-end / exotic build, if you don't have Skull MC gloves, you might as well not use a all high-end / exotic build, because the main purpose of using this is because you get 16% extra damage whenever you have these gloves. So although you might have some shitty ones like I do, you still want to use them because you are going to get that damage bonus. But besides that, the chest piece I am using is a Reckless chest. What it has on it is exotic damage resilience and health, and it also has increased kill XP. The increased kill XP is really nothing to worry about. I wish it was something a little bit different, maybe something like ammo capacity, but it's not really that big of a issue. Exotic damage resilience, obviously for the Seeker Mines, you don't get that weak by Seeker Mines, although I still get very, very weak by them. 10%, it's still something, and hopefully you don't get one-shotted. I also have health on it, just pretty much get my survivability up. The final thing I have on this chest piece is a 1249 stamina roll with 2 firearms and health gear mods. Moving one spot down, we have a Tenacious Mask. I really like using a Tenacious Mask. I go through medkits. Pretty much whenever I spawn, I use all my medkits like really quick. It's a bad habit, I have to change it. But whenever I spawn, I just never use my booster shot or anything like that. I just spam my medkits, and like I said, it's a bad habit, and I really hope I change that soon. But Tenacious Mask, you pretty much get your damage increased whenever you pop a medkit, and I also have a firearms roll on this mask. And as for my major attribute, I do have plus 4% all resistance. So that's pretty much all for my mask. For my knee pads, I'm using Unaccomplished. Rewards from accolades are tripled. It's something that it really doesn't matter too much. The only reason I do use them is because I have a 1272 stamina roll, which is maxed out, and for my attributes, I do have 15,000 health, 33% bleed resistance, 27% burn resistance, and 33% disrupt resistance. So that's that for the knee pads. Going on to the specialized backpack. Now this specialized backpack, I actually had a really good firearms roll. What I actually did was rolled electronics in order to get my electronics a little bit up and make my booster shot a little bit better, and as well as my pulse. The only thing I wish it had different was, instead of maybe the health, I wish it had skill power. But it is what it is, I'll still take health. And for my minor attribute, I do have blade resistance, which doesn't really matter that much. Going on to the Skull MC gloves. Skull MC gloves, I have critical hit damage, critical hit chance, and marksman rifle damage. Unfortunately, I do not have assault rifle or submachine gun damage on these Skull MC gloves, which is very disappointing. I wish I had something with assault rifle damage, but like I said, I'll still take them because they are really good. And I also have a 1261 firearms roll for these gloves. Last but not least, we have the Nimble Holster. To be honest, it's self-explanatory. The Nimble Holster is just something you want. Whenever you're playing PvP, it's always really useful. If you don't have medkits, if you don't have your heal, and you're pretty much one shot, using Nimble is just life-saving, to be honest. But what I have on it is 1272 firearms, 1214 stamina, and 1259 electronics, which does get maxed out in Last Stand, so keep that in the back of your mind. And as for my major attribute, I do have health once again, so I am not squishy whenever I play PvP. So yeah, that's pretty much my hybrid build in patch 1.6. To be honest, I'm very happy with it, although there's about 2 or 3 different things I wish were a little bit different. For example, like the Skull MC gloves, I wish they had an assault rifle or SMG damage. For stat wise, what we're looking at is 5,468 firearms, 4,885 stamina, and 4,514 electronics. Now keep in mind, everything does get increased in Last Stand whenever I play Last Stand. And really quickly, I do want to say this build is not only for Last Stand. You can definitely use this build in PvE and also in the Dark Zone. I know some people have been saying like, why don't you post videos for builds in the Dark Zone? To be honest, most of the builds I do post, you can still use them in the Dark Zone, although they're still not going to be, as good as they are in Last Stand. Those builds are still usable in the Dark Zone, but this build, for example, is really good for pretty much anything. The only thing I would kind of change up maybe is add a little bit more health if you're using this for PvE. But besides that, this is a great overall hybrid build that you can use in patch 1.6. So that's pretty much it for the video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I reply to all my comments. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.